$4.6 trillion lost in abandoned carts in the last year. And I'm going to show you in this video how AI could help you recover 42% of abandoned carts automatically. Welcome to our first video in Flowmmerce. My name is Juan David Rincon. Before jumping into the automations, I want to talk to you about the company behind all of this. It's Flowmmerce. Flowmmerce is a tech startup focused on AI exclusively for e-commerce. So on this video, we are going to use artificial intelligence to transform abandoned carts into completed sales. Our system learns, adapts, and executes recovery strategies that previously required entire marketing teams. So we are going to jump into N8N, which is the software that we use in Flowmmerce to create these systems that help you recover, for example, abandoned carts, but also with other things focused exclusively for e-commerce. But before showing you all those automations that will help you improve your ROI, the number of sales, and the service you give to your potential customers, I want to give you some context and show you why this is super important for all of you that are e-commerce owners or that work for an e-commerce that could be doing so much better. So the hidden problem draining your business. 7 out of 10 shoppers abandon their carts. So this is all money you are leaving on the table. 260 billion annual global loss. So what's the difference between the first number that we saw, $4.6 trillion, and this is that $4.6 trillion is the cost of the goods left on the cart, right? On the abandoned cart. $260 billion is the revenue that the entire e-commerce industry is leaving on the table. So why what I'm going to show you in this video is so powerful? Because we are going to start recovering all this money. And this is an important thing. 18 is the number of hours in average, which is a critical window to recover the sale. And the systems that we are going to review on this video are going to allow us to get our message in front of the customer in less than 18 hours and with AI behind it, with customization, personalization, and this will result in more sales without spending a cent more in ads or in hiring more people for your team. So every abandoned cart represents a lost opportunity. But more importantly, it represents a customer who has already shown purchase intent. The question isn't whether you should try to recover them, but how to do it intelligently and scalably. And I'm going to show you that in this video. So here is how we create this system, these automations on Flowmmerce. We have 3 levels. The level 0 is basic automation. The level 1 is AI personalization, and the level 2 is intelligent prioritization. So not all automation systems are created equal. There are 3 distinct levels of intelligence, each built upon the last one. So for example, what we are going to see on level 1 was built on level 0 automation, and what we built on level 2 was built on the structure of level 1 automation. So the difference between them can mean recovering 15% or 45%. Usually with level 0, we can recover between 15 and 20%. However, with what I'm going to show you, you can recover up to 22%, which is great. With level 1, we can go up to 35%, and with level 2, we can go up to 42 or 45%, which is huge. You are getting more sales without doing anything else, just this. So a unified goal for all of this is sell more efficiently, reducing costs, and maximizing the return on every customer interaction. So level 0 is standard automation. So we are going to have like 4 pillars. The first is real-time detection. The second one, centralized database. Third, multi-channel activation. And 4, structured follow-up. So now we are going to jump into our platform, N8N. Here we are in our platform, and here is the entire automation, right? So for this example, we created, in Flowmmerce, we created a store only for this. So I'm going to show you here how this looks. So we already have this added to the checkout. For us to grab this information, to get this information, we have to go here to N8N, and we have to go to our trigger, and we have to click on listen for test event. So we are going to click on that. We are going to jump back into our store, and we are going to wait a moment, and well, we have it here. So we received the first information, but in here we don't have email, we don't have anything, right? But I want you to show you something about this automation that it's quite important. So we are going to run it up until here, right? So in here we can see that it's working. So what we are watching here is that the difference between these two, and you are going to see it later, is that in here we go into this line or into this path because it's the first time that we are getting that checkout, right? It's the first time this person is in the checkout process. So in here, we receive all the information. In here, we clean the information and we select the information that is important to us throughout the entire process. In here, we ask if the information that we received is already on the database. If it's not, we are going to create a new row in the database, right? Why this is so important? Because in here, the trigger activates when Shopify updates the checkout, right? So in the first part, we received no email, we received no phone call, no phone, right? But what happens after we receive, for example, email? It's going to update again and it's going to create a new row. And we don't want that because we don't want to send the same person 2 times the email or 2 times a WhatsApp message or 2 times an SMS, right? We don't want that. We want to know if the row exists. I want you to update that row. I don't want you to create a new one, because if you create a lot of rows that it's the same person, but just updating like different information, this automation is going to run several times for the same person. And we don't want to do that. We want to save credits. We want to show the user a good message, but only one message. We don't want to overwhelm the user. So that's why Flowmmerce is focusing always on the client, on you, the e-commerce owner. Because we want you to save credits and we want you to have workflows and automations that work efficiently. So now that I showed you that it's working, we are going to type a fictitious email, okay? So before doing that, it's important to click here again. So the trigger is activated and it will get all the information that we send. So let's go here and now let's go to our store. Now it's going to update the checkout and we have to go here and review that the email is already there. Okay, so here's the email, the test email. This email don't exist, okay, but it's for the test. So we are going to run it again and you are going to see the difference in here. So like I told you, now that in here we know that that checkout already exists, now we go through this path. Now we wait 15 minutes. Why we want to do that? Because when you are on your checkout page, you don't fill or type the email, your address and your phone in minutes or seconds. You take some time, right? So we give the user 15 minutes. And the best thing about all the things that I'm going to show you is that we can custom everything based on you, on the client, on what you want for your automation. So for example, let's say that in here, you don't want 15 minutes. You don't want to wait 15 minutes. You want to wait an hour because you have seen best results when you wait 1 hour to get back to that user. Or you don't want to wait 15 minutes. You want to wait only 10 minutes. So all of this can be customized for you. So now in here, what's important? First, we want to know if the checkout has an email or a phone. If we don't have either of these two, we don't want to continue because we don't have any information to contact you. We can't send you an SMS or a WhatsApp. We can't send you an email, right? So we want to stop the flow. But what happens if we have an email? That is the current example that we are working on. We are going to continue. And in here, what we are asking Shopify is the information of the checkout. And in here, we want to analyze the order status. We want to know if it's paid or it's abandoned after 15 minutes. In this case, we didn't complete the purchase, so we continue, right? So is the checkout abandoned? Yes, it is. So we keep with the flow. In here, we are going to ask another question. We want to know if we have a phone. If we don't have a phone, then we don't want to send the people over here because we are going to have an error and we don't want to spend credits, right? So if we don't have a phone, we are going to send an email and then we are going to wait 6 hours to send the next one. And if we do have a phone, then we are going to send an WhatsApp and we are going to send an email, right? So what I'm going to tell you right now, it's important. If we use WhatsApp, we can't personalize the message in the next level that we are going to see on this video when we start using AI. Why? Because in this automation, we are the ones sending the first message, right? When we send the first message on WhatsApp, we only can select templates that Meta already approved. But in the next automation, the level 1 that we are going to review just after this, I'm going to show you how we do it on Flowmmerce so you can use the entire AI power to customize these messages. However, if you use SMS, we can customize this because we can connect to the platform that you use and we can tell him, hey, personalize this with AI. In this case, we aren't using any AI in any part of this automation. As you can see, everything is a normal automation. But for example, if you have an e-commerce and you don't have even this automation, we can implement it for you. We can start with this. With this system, with this structure that you are watching right now, we can get up to 22% of recovered abandoned carts. So if we have a phone, then we can send an SMS, a WhatsApp, and we can send an email. After that, what we do is exactly what we did here, but waiting. So for example, in here, we wait 6 hours. Then we ask Shopify again for the cart status. We analyze, and if we see that the checkout is still abandoned, we send the second email, and the same for the third one. If we see that the user already made the purchase, then we stop the automation. So now we are on the level 1 AI-powered personalization. So this is where personalization begins. The automation flow remains, but now each message is generated by AI based on the customer's cart products, making every remainder more relevant and human. So first important part, product-based personalization, intelligent copywriting, channel adaptation, and consistent structure. So the key difference, instead of sending generic emails, that is what we did with the automation on level 0. We are going to create custom message for each user where we are going to mention their actual products, increasing engagement and recovery rates. So let's jump again into N8N. So here is the second automation, but this one is already with AI. So as you can see, everything is almost the same. I'm not going to do like the example again because you already saw that it's working and it's going where we want to go. But the difference is right here, right? So in here, we have the personalization, the custom message for each person. And you could be asking, well, why we don't have like this customization before sending the WhatsApp? For the reason that I told you before. In here, we have to use templates, right? And it's templates that Meta already approved. So we can't customize templates. But what can we do? On that template that I'm going to show you right away how it looks. So this is how a template looks, but of course, we customize it for your business. We aren't going to use this one. This is just the one that Facebook approves or Meta approves, but it's like that, right? But in here, we can send a message where we invite the user to message us back. When they do that, we can initiate another automation. And with that conversation between the user and we, as the e-commerce brand, we can start customizing the messages. The difference between that and this is that in this part, we are sending the first message. So that's why Meta doesn't allow us to send customized messages. But if they answer us, and if we start messaging back and forth, then we can customize those messages. So this is what we want to do after that. But for example, let's say that you don't want WhatsApp, you want SMS, then we can customize that and we can implement that customization before that, right? But for this example, we are having it like this, and we are going to see like what's the difference, right? So first I want to show you how we are seeing that email on the first automation. So we have like the subject and we have the HTML body that it's generic, right? This message is going to be sent to everyone that has an abandoned checkout. And in here, in the level 1 automation, on here on GPT, in this case, we are using GPT-4o latest. And why we are doing it? Because we have seen the best results using this model for the task that we want to accomplish. Of course, if you want, we can use like the latest model, that is GPT-5, right? GPT-5 Pro. But based on our experience, it's too expensive considering the result that it's going to give us, which is not very different from what we are going to get from this model. So that's another difference of Flowmmerce. We want to get you the best results without spending tons and tons of money that you don't need to spend. So we always want to make sure that you get the best results, you get the most money for what you have already invested. So that's why it's so powerful and so important. And if you want this for your business, down below the description, you have my WhatsApp and you can text me, or you can also go to flowmmerce.com and visit us and schedule a call, okay? So in here, we have like 2 prompts. The first one is for the system. This is a little bit technical, but the first one is to tell ChatGPT how he has to act. So you are a professional copywriter, specialized in e-commerce, etc., etc. And in here is where we are going to customize everything based on your e-commerce. We are going to send ChatGPT all the information that we can about your e-commerce. So these messages and the output is always the best one, right? And in here, we tell him like what does he has to do. So you have the customer name, that it's the one that we received on the first step here and that we moved throughout the entire automation. What else do you have? You have the products in the cart. You have the cart recovery link because we want them to click on that link and that they go back to our store and that they buy. I told GPT what exactly to do, generate a catchy subject and an HTML body with a maximum of 150 words. So this is very powerful. Because let's say that you don't want 150 words, you want 1,000 words, then we can do it. Let's say that you don't want to include a button or a link. You always want a button, then we can do that. You want a specific design, we can do that as well, right? So after we do that, then what is going to be the output? Then we tell GPT exactly what we want. We want the subject and the body HTML as a JSON. And why do we want that? Because that's the information that then we are going to use here. So as you can see, here is the big difference. In here, we are going to use the output that ChatGPT sent us, which is customized. And we are going to use it on the subject, and we are going to use it on the body. In here, we have the same message for all of our customers. So this is the first level of AI. And why is this so powerful? Because let's say that a user is going to buy, I don't know, maybe some shoes, right? And after a week, she wants a bag. And each of these 2 emails are going to be very different. Because in the first one, the subject is going to talk exactly to, for example, Mary, and he's going to tell her, Mary, we have your shoes and they look great on you. And the other subject is saying, for example, Mary, we have your bag ready for you. When do you want us to send it to you? So it's personalized, it's customized, and the user is going to feel that we value them because we are talking directly to them. And this is what changes the recovery rate of your cart. And this is why this is so powerful, because instead of recovering 15%, or maybe you are not recovering anything at all, you are going to jump to 35-32% just implementing this personalization. And now we are going to jump into level 2. So what's level 2? So on level 2, we are going to give a dynamic lead scoring. So in the most advanced level, here, AI is not only going to personalize messages, but also makes strategic decisions about your entire recovery campaign. It evaluates each abandoned cart and determines the best content strategy. So we are going to have 3 types of leads or users: high intent, medium intent, and low intent. So let's jump to N8N. So now we are on N8N, and you can see like the difference between this one, right? So here we have the entire automation, and here is level 2. So I'm going to go through all of this. So something important that I want to tell you, and that it's important that you consider, is that on Flowmmerce, we created 3 levels of this automation with 2 levels, including AI. But if you have an e-commerce that has like bigger needs, we can do it. We have also customized plans where we can create these automations for you with more AI, with more paths, with more services, etc., etc. However, in our experience, we saw that these 3 levels can be applied to 90-95% of all the e-commerces in the world. So if you are among these e-commerces, you can contact us and we can start with one of these automations. And if you are out of that, you are part of the 5 or 10% of e-commerces that need something bigger, you can also contact us, because we have the knowledge and we have the systems to implement almost anything that you need for your e-commerce. So if you need that, down below you will have my WhatsApp link, or you can visit flowmmerce.com. So at first we have everything exactly as you can see it, but in here is the big difference. So in here is where we say to the AI to classify the lead, the user. We want to give him 1 if it's low intent, 2 if it's medium intent, and 3 if it's high intent. So right now you could be asking yourself, why did we implement this in here and not here, or maybe here, or well, why here? The first reason, or maybe the only reason, is because for us to contact that person, that user, we need an email or a phone, right? If we don't have either of these, we can contact them. And it's going to be a waste of resources to give the prospect a score if we can't contact them back, right? So it's going to be a waste of money, a waste of resources, and we don't want that. We want to be very efficient in what we are doing. So if they have email, if that checkout has email or has a phone, then we are going to continue with the automation flow. So in this part, we tell the AI to score the lead based on a few things that we tell him to based on. So the best part about this is that we can change all of this. So for example, if your e-commerce is very big, and for you, a high intent user is someone with an abandoned checkout cart above $1,000, then we can tell him exactly that. So we can customize all of that. So we can improve the score, or we can score the lead based on your requirements, on what you think is a high intent, medium intent, or low intent lead, right? So after we score that user, then we go here and we have this where we can split the automation in different paths based on this score. So for example, if it is a score of 1, we are going to send a simple email. We are going to implement deep personalization on the email, but we are just going to send 1 email. Why? Because it's the cheapest way of recovering that card, and we know that the chances of getting that card back is really low. So we are not going to spend a lot of resources. If the user has a score of 2, then we are going to send the message, we are going to send the email, but after that, we are not going to do anything else. And if the score is 3, which is the highest, then we are going to implement the entire automation. In the first one, as you can see, we are not asking if it has phone. Why? Because we don't need it. We are only going to send an email. So it's irrelevant if we have a phone or not. In these 2, it's important, so we keep it. This is really important and very useful for e-commerces that are, for example, getting a lot of traffic, getting a lot of abandoned checkouts, and they are starting to spend a lot of money in the AI that is personalizing and customizing the messages, and they aren't seeing that high return that they want, right? And if you are spending a lot of money on traffic and you don't have this, and you keep spending all that money on all of this, and you don't see that every user converts the same, then you have to implement this so you can save money, you can qualify better your traffic, and then you can give better remarketing campaigns. This is a remarketing campaign, right? Because we are recovering that abandoned cart. And what's the best thing about this? That, for example, let's say that we implement this instruction, and we are telling him that classifies that user based on different parameters. And we start seeing that, for example, all the scores of 3 are converting, but the rate is not very high. But the scores of 2 are converting at a really high rate. Then we can start seeing, well, what is the AI doing that it's qualifying people as 2, but they are converting better than the ones qualified with a score of 3, right? And all of this is very important data that will allow our e-commerce to grow faster, to maximize the return on investment, and to improve customer service, because this is customer service, because we are servicing our users in a better way. And here is where we can see level 2. So these are the 3 levels of automations with AI that we have. And you saw that each level was the base for the next one, right? So, like I already told you, if you need this, you can contact me, you can visit our website, and we can help you. Now, to finish this, I want you to show you like some expected results about this and to show you how this reflects in terms of money, okay? So, 35 to 45% average recovery rate with the AI that I just showed you. 60% cost reduction and up to 3 times increase in the expected ROI within the first 90 days of implementation. These 90 days are very important because this is where we start improving the systems. We see maybe where we can improve. And of course, our plans are monthly because we are always improving the systems. We are always improving the automation. So you can keep the costs low and results better. These are based on global e-commerce benchmark and real-world implementation data. So this is already verified data. I'm not inventing this. And now I want you to quantify your gain, the Flowmmerce advantage, how this can be seen with real numbers. Let's put the power of Flowmmerce level 2 into perspective. So imagine a common scenario for many e-commerce businesses. So let's say that you have level 0, but you have to consider that a lot of e-commerce don't even have level 0. They don't have any automation. So instead of 15%, they have 0. Okay, so monthly abandoned carts. Let's say that you have 100K on abandoned carts. That your recovery rate is 15%, so you are monthly recovering 15,000, which is good. But with level 2, instead of 15%, you are going to recover 40%, which means 40,000 monthly recovered revenue. So that's an additional 25,000 per month, or staggering 300,000 annually recovered from the same cards and customers you already have, all without spending more on ads or hiring more people, just by using smarter automation. So this is very powerful because you don't have to spend more on ads. You don't have to hire more people. And all we are going to do is work with the traffic and everything that you already have. So this is super, super powerful. So the future, autonomous, intelligent commerce. What once required a full team is now executed by a self-learning system. So this is how e-commerce was yesterday, was in the past. Teams of 5-10 people manually analyzing data, creating segments, and writing campaigns. This is what e-commerce is right now. AI systems executing millions of micro decisions, automatically personalizing each interaction. So this is where Flowmmerce is right now. And this is Flowmmerce vision. This is what we are working for the tomorrow. So at autonomous commerce, where AI predicts needs before they arise and optimizes your entire operation. So this is what Flowmmerce is right now and how we can help you. And this is where Flowmmerce is going into the future. We are going to help you right now grow your ROI, grow your e-commerce, improve your efficiency with the systems that we have developed right now. But you can be sure that we are going to improve these systems, that we are going to work so your e-commerce improves at the same pace that AI is developing. Just to end this video, I want to tell you that this is just the beginning. Automated cart recovery is just one of many automations that Flowmmerce can implement in your e-commerce. From personalizing shopping experiences to predictive inventory optimization, our AI systems are designed to scale every aspect of your business. For example, email automation, AI assistance, predictive recommendations. If you are interested in implementing anything that we saw on this video, I will leave you my WhatsApp down below on the description, or you can visit flowmmerce.com. And if you have any question about the information that I shared with you today, please comment below and I will answer you as soon as possible. That will be all for this video. Thanks for watching and I will see you on the next one.